Yeah. In the days of old, 5 elements were known: MCing, DJing, graffiti had grown, B-boy and knowledge, the pillars of the game. But a 6th emerged, adding to the flame. Comics and hip-hop, a fusion so tight. Visual storytelling, lyrics that ignite. From the pages to the beats, a seamless blend. The 6th element, where 2 worlds transcend.
Welcome to the 6th Element Show, where comics and hip-hop flow. Reno and Stu guided the way, bringing you the culture every day. Welcome to the 6th Element Show, where comics and hip-hop flow. Reno and Stu.
We are looking at one of the greatest, and I do mean greatest, and this is not just me talking as a fan, the greatest Star Wars project maybe since Rogue One. And that's no bullshit. I know a lot of people are going to say, what about Mando season 1? Mando season 1 was fire. I mean, insanely good. This is another level, bro. This is another level. Andor season 2. I mean, I knew season 1. Season 1, I was already, y'all just don't understand. This is the shit. But people just didn't quite, it didn't hit. It's hit. Now it is hit. Now people have figured it out. Rotten Tomatoes, it's the highest rated Star Wars show or movie ever in history. Ever. Now, current Rotten Tomatoes score for the season, new season of acclaimed series, highest among all live action Star Wars projects also. So, Andor might not have any Jedi Knight characters, no Force powers or none of that stuff, but definitely the Force is definitely strong with it. I think Tony Gilroy has learned the secret sauce, and yeah, man, the story continues, man, with the Rebel Alliance fighter Cassian Andor, played by Diego Luna. And yeah, it's got the best Critics' Choice score on Rotten Tomatoes of any live-action Star Wars TV show or movie. That's Project Period. Star Wars Period. Andor Season 2, which premiered last night, had, 98% positive rating. And the new season edged out the previous top-rated show, which was Andor Season 1, which had 96%. So do not sleep on Andor, y'all. There's no question anymore. If there ever was one, it is the best. It is the best Star Wars movie, show, project out there, quality-wise, hands down. There's just no... Now, I'm going to stop glazing. I'm going to give you the deets now. I know some people may just be totally not into Andor. There's that too, but that's not because of the quality. No, that would just be because Andor's for the grown-ups. This is a Star Wars not for your kids. This is not a Star Wars for when you were a kid. This is now, if you grew up on Star Wars, if you were a kid back when, say, the original movies came out, and you've grown up with the whole franchise, this is for you. This is for us. Again, some of the best Star Wars storytelling ever. And 3 years after the debut of season 1, we've got season 2, which again, sadly, is the last season. They were not doing any more after this. They'd get picked up. Believe me, if they wanted to keep this thing going, and that's the bittersweetness here, because honestly, if Tony Gilroy wanted to do Andor seasons 8, 9, 10, and 11, he could pull it off. How he would do that, because of course the other caveat is that the main character of this show, we know what happens. We know how he dies. We know, because this all leads up to the movie Rogue One, which incidentally, in my opinion, and many Star Wars fans, was the best Star Wars project since the original trilogy. And that's a Disney product. A lot of people put it above the prequels, and me personally, I got a 3. I got my 3 top Star Wars. My top 3: Empire Strikes Back, number 1. Number 2, this is for me, Revenge of the Sith. I like the whole Vader. I want to see that whole. I love lore. Revenge of the Sith is 2 for me. 3 is Rogue One. Yes, Rogue One above A New Hope, above Clone Wars, above just a little bit above, tiny little bit above, but you can't fucking sleep on it. I mean, it's insane. And this is the show. This is the show based on it. This is the show that leads up to it, which didn't mean anything. Could have turned out to be utter crap, but it didn't. It didn't. And just before I like totally do the whole breakdown and bust it up and give y'all the whole recap and everything like that, I'm gonna just show you a couple things that will blow your wig back. Huh. Oh, there we go. There you go. And we've got, I'm sure I gotta get something switched around here. These are the critics' reviews, just a bunch of critic reviews. Andor, still one of the best Star Wars titles. It's triumphant. Andor joins Empire Strikes Back, The Last Jedi, and Rogue One as top-tier Star Wars. Why The Last Jedi is anywhere in this sentence? Alan Kearney of Vita Thrills, you need to get your head checked, son. I'm not sure what's going on there, but the rest of it. It's not only some of the best Star Wars to come out since Disney took over Lucasfilm, but some of the very best Star Wars, period. That's a big statement, but it's fucking true. Season 1 of Andor was already by far the most exciting output of the venerable franchise streaming TV era, fact. With Season 2, Andor cements itself as the gold standards of what modern Star Wars can be. Now, you can compare it to this and that and all these other things. This is where we've come. If Star Wars started in 1978, and has gotten progressively better, which visually, the sequel trilogy is definitely top tier. I mean, I don't think there's a question there. Visually, the sequel trilogy is obviously the most eye candy, best looking Star Wars of anything. That's it. That's all it has going for it. That's it. But this Andor is where I think we should be right now. I think this is where Star Wars should be in 2025. Like I said, man, this is for the grown-ups. This is for people that have grown up with the franchise and are now in their 40s, 50s, 60s. My dad, so 70s. Like, it doesn't. There's no limit. If you grew up with this show, this is it, man. Andor says Andor is a perfect Star Wars show and a master class in crafting a prequel. And that's true, because it's not just the best Star Wars show. It's actually just an amazing show, period. And that's what puts it head and shoulders above the other Star Wars projects. Guys, Mandalorian season 1 and 2, utter peak, just some of the best, man. So cool, so just interesting. I mean, you know, obviously it should have been Boba Fett, but hey, it's still, I hesitate. It's like B quality. It's like TV. It's like not quite like, and Andor is, okay. Andor is like blockbuster 2025, PlayStation 5, top tier, Unreal Engine 27. It's the fire. How does it compare to season 1? Well, somehow Tony Gilroy and his brilliant writing team have outdone themselves with season 2. And guys, we're only 3 episodes in. I watched 1 episode and I already knew. I was like, this is peak. It's the peak. All right, it's the summit. If Andor season 1 was the match to light the fires in the Galactic Rebellion, then Andor season 2 lights the fuse and the powder keg. Wow. Gilroy wasn't shy about using his revolutionary history as one of the primary influences on the first season, but season 2 uses World War II as a more explicit reference point. This guy is talking about some next level shit. That's a whole show. And he's got, Andor season 2 has all the exquisite touch tones that made season 1 such a cult hit. Yeah, and then some. People will compare season 1 and wonder, is it better or is it worse? And all I can say is that it's neither. It is a perfect continuation of the first season. It's just as good. I mean, again, we're 3 episodes in, so I'm not gonna fire up. Now, some of these critics have gotten to see all the episodes, and that's not fair. But according to Tessa Smith, she said episode 11 in particular is one that gave me literal chills and made the hair on my arms stand on end. Can't wait to get there. Much like season 1 prison episodes, the strongest story arcs are in the middle sections. I mean, when I hear shit like that, it just makes me happy inside, because we're at episode 1, 2, and 3, and this isn't even the best. Does it take Star Wars anywhere new? Well, I don't even have to read that. We damn sure know it has. Well, let's see. Certainly more adult than any other Star Wars show or film I've seen, with drug use and the threat of sexual assault, as well as moments of intense violence. Every bit. Andor stands out even while fitting in, and does so with style and urgency rarely felt in our conformist era of dreary IP. Are there any big surprises? Man. All right, there's a mass reveal in season 2 that will certainly excite fans. You might think you know what's coming, but I promise you, your world is about to be flipped upside down. That's a crazy statement. We know what's going on. We know this leads up to Rogue One. What could they possibly reveal? A lot of people were like, what's this show going to be if we already, you know what I mean? Like, we already know where it's going. Like, there can't be any surprises really, but apparently the last moments of Andor season 2 literally took my breath away in the way that this saga hasn't done since Darth Vader revealed himself to Luke Skywalker on the scaffold on Bespin. Oh, shit. Like Empire Strikes Back before it. The series takes place. The preconceptions audiences have about mainstream art and actually dares to challenge it. The series takes the preconceptions audiences have about mainstream art and dares to challenge them. What's going on? How's the writing? Dude, in its second season, Andor shows us what good story can accomplish. Its capacity to dull empathy or amplify it, to placate people or awaken them. This show is not, I can't say how much it's not your typical Star Wars. This show is like just a quality drama. And like, I've always felt that way about the Star Wars shows so far. Like, I've been like, yeah, these are cool, but like, it's Star Wars. Why aren't we top tier budget? Why doesn't this look like the sequel trilogy? Why does this look like it was filmed like on a fucking TV set? Andor scratched all that itch. It totally, like, it's what Star Wars should look like right now, and it's up there with any other high-end scripted drama show, and that's what it should be. I mean, Star Wars should be peak. It should be top of the pile. Let me see. Is it more relatable? Does it feel like Star Wars, though? Well, here's a lot of people's questions. Now, while a few familiar aspects of Star Wars make their way into the narrative, it's done in a way that feels fresh, new, and important to the story at hand. Fans won't miss the usual Star Wars traits that they could possibly want, from a surprising amount of humor in the early going to creative choices that only make movies like Rogue One and even A New Hope better in retrospect. And yes, like it fills in gaps. It does so much, man, just for Star Wars, period. and it absolutely feels like Star Wars. That's what makes it great, because you can always just make a great show, but can you make a great Star Wars show? Not just a great show that you slap Star Wars on. And that's not what's been done here. Like, this is definitely not that. This is definitely taking place in a galaxy far, far away. A long, long time ago. How is Diego Luno's performance? Forget about it. Does anyone else stand out in the cast? How does the show look? Phenomenal. Andor is Andor only for the diehard Star Wars fans? Non-fans will see it for the high drama that it brings and will inspire them to continue the rest of the story. Andor's subtlety probably won't work for large swaths of a demographic coalition that Star Wars traditionally serves, and so reliant on fan service or an errant Skywalker to juice devotion. Now, the thing is here, you got to either, they're saying that lightsabers and Luke Skywalker is what's going to really appeal to the average fan or the casual audience, and this high-end intrigue and espionage will only appeal to hardcore Star Wars fans. And I can't agree there, because like any high-end espionage drama is enjoyable. You can enjoy this show if you don't fuck with Star Wars. It's that good. It's good if you love it. It's good if you hate it. It's good either way. Star Wars at its peak in every way. Hang on, let me say shout out, peace, Slade. What up? Yeah, the dudes that captured Cassin, man. We're gonna find out more about them. There's some sect of rebels that I guess don't know what the hell's going on. They're not privy to the because you gotta remember, the rebels, dude, it's a ragtag, it's a loose band. Like, anybody anywhere can be like, oh, I'm a rebel now, and yo, you want to join the rebellion? Yeah. So it's not like a set tight, you know what I mean? So some people aren't privy to everyone's definitely not privy to the mission that Cassian is on. So they don't know who he is. They're just like, oh, this dude's part of the Empire. What kind of TIE fighter did he steal? Because we've never seen the future movie. No, it's a what do you call it? Prototype. It's a one-off. It's a new thing for Andor. It doesn't go into future Star Wars at all. So just call it a prototype. Even the pilots in Star Wars don't know how to fly it, and that's on purpose to make you know, like, this is a prototype. This is not something that's like in production. It's somebody's custom joint. And these were the best episodes ever. We don't know. We'll see. A Veteran Skeleton Crew, absolutely. Oh man, I love it. Car Star Wars fan to watch? Absolutely not. How did they get to that planet, and who is the girl? All know, but they all know, but it's not there. The girl is whatever agent Cassian was supposed to meet up with. I don't think we've ever seen her before. I don't recall if she's from the first season or anything. I know it's not Bix, because she's on the farm planet, and you know what I mean. So not sure. Is it Vader's TIE fighter? It's not Vader's TIE fighter. It's definitely not Vader's TIE fighter that we saw before. Is it Vader's TIE fighter now, like something he's working on? Could be. And where the heck Stu Dog? Man, you got to ask Stu Dog, man. I don't know, man. What's going on with Stu, man? I don't know. Late as usual. What are you going to do? Who knows, man? He'll be here ASAP as soon as he can. Yeah. Easily the most critically acclaimed show right now. But episodes 1 through 3, basically, you have season 2. You got the first 4 chapters. Okay, episodes 1 through 3 is chapter 1. Picks up a year after the events of season 1 and starts going. And it's a lot more. It's got a nice sense of humor. It opens up to season 2 very well. I like, the first season, and it did so well. Andor's still focusing on these small things. And the big picture of the rebellion, we still know is around. We still know that's going on. In the first chapter, definitely takes great pains to highlight the personal costs taking on the Empire, with great characters. Very impressive, top-notch filmmaking in all aspects. And again, one of the best projects that we've ever had. And so there's a scene almost right off the bat between Andor and an Imperial technician who's helping steal an experimental new TIE fighter. It's an experimental TIE fighter. She's real nervous. She's scared. She's like wondering if the risk is worth it. And but Cassian's there. He helps talk her through it, lets her know that he's got her support, he's supporting her. And so he says all the right things, and clearly drawing on experience that he's had in the years that we've that he's been working behind the scenes in the rebellion. So it's a very good way to show his growth. Like we see now, like he's definitely more seasoned than in the beginning of the show. But the most important part of this conversation that they have is when the tech talks about how she'd had an okay life at this facility. She had fun. She feels guilty about ever not being as happy as part of the Empire, that she's not sure how to like deal with it. And she's like, why are we, Empire's not so bad kind of thing. And she's not even, doesn't know what all they do. And so it's a small conversation about a very small thing, but it says a lot. And the first chapter of Andor season 2, it's really dope that they were able to do so much efficiently with these opening moments. And then there's a feeling throughout these first 3 episodes that any sense of normalcy or comfort is out the window. The way that the team behind Andor sets out to like accomplish that is very savvy. And this season is written and edited just right. It particularly in the first 3 episodes. I mean, that's really what we're talking about here. Andor is built, in such a way that it directly contrasts the realities of managing a rebellion with continuing to live in the Empire, while you do it, right? Everyone's there, but it's like they're all doing this rebel stuff behind the scenes. And we've always seen, the rebels are like this whole sect of Star Wars, this whole army. Well, right now they're very much underground. So everyone is part of the Empire doing shit underground, and we where we get to. And so it's a fascinating little tightrope act, and one that the writers and directors flawlessly pull off. And even in the opening sequence, we see him very capably tending to this rebel that's helping him out, but immediately he's back in over his head. I'm dying laughing. I'm busting my dude. When he hit that shit in he got in that shit and hit it in reverse and start banging around the hangar. I was crying, bro. Like it's the comedy factor is just right, but like in a serious way, but like hits, dude. I can't praise this show enough. Another great example of this is when in episode 1, Cassian is stuck on this forest planet with a group of rebels that don't trust him and don't know who he is, don't know what's going on. Can't even get on the same page with each other. They're actually going at it with each other. So we're taken to this secret meeting atop the Empire brass in this snowy mountaintop fortress, and we see the way the episode jumps back and forth between the rebels in the woods and the top brass in the fortress, and it connects them in a very, very sneaky way. And it's edited quickly, almost like a montage. But these are 2 seemingly unrelated scenes being pulled together. And so on the one hand, you see the uphill battle that the rebellion's facing, with factions fighting for the same cause but killing each other because of distrust. And this crew holding Andor hostage, it's just a bunch of selfish idiots. But meanwhile, the Empire is quite casually plotting the destruction of an entire planet over coffee and canapes at a corporate retreat. And these moments get lumped together as effectively one scene. And so that one scene isn't about what the rebellion or the Empire are up to separately. It's about how far apart the 2 sides are in their plans and how they get executed. And so while the Empire, can get the ISB and the smear campaign pitching Ministry of Enlightenment douchebags marching in lockstep, the rebellion is literally starving in the mud and fighting each other while they're stranded on a planet full of monsters. And they're definitely not playing on the same level, right? They're definitely not 2 equal forces. So, and it's also a scene that proves just how well Andor is put together. Very smart, very efficient filmmaking like this. Really holds the series, really pops up throughout the series, and subtly, just drives home those themes while you're not even looking, and just in such a expert way. And I will say though, episode 2, it gets a little long where Cassian's part of the plot is concerned, and this band of misfits in the jungle, they're just too stupid to be interesting for as much time as we have to spend with them. And that's why people are like, who are those guys? Because it seems like it was really important, right? It's not really important. They did their job very well in episode 1, but I don't know that I needed, the Star Wars version of rock, paper, scissors just to, as being such a big role in Andor's escape. But it's another vote in favor of the release schedule for season 2, though. And I would have been a little more critical of episode 2. Sorry. Of season 2. I would have been critical of episode 2 if I had to wait a week for that, because it's almost like a continuation of episode 1. They almost had to put the 3 episodes together. So, if you weren't aware, they dropped episode 1 through 3 on day 1 last night. So, reason being, standalone, you might have felt a little cheated, I will say. That's not saying anything bad about this show, because it didn't need to be separated like that. That's just how they did it. In my opinion, like, just do a bunch of hour episodes. Like, come on. But they kill it. They bang it out. We got 12 episodes last time. There's 11, I think, this time. Maybe 12. I'm not sure. I gotta look that up. Sorry. I'm on a roll here. Let me. So the first batch of episodes, like I said, the galaxy's most intriguing character, my spirit animal, my favorite Star Wars character of all time, Mon Mothma. No, she's like become one of the most important characters in Star Wars now, and it's pretty funny. But the fact that a major plot point of season 1 involved the senator agreeing to arrange the marriage of her younger daughter to a mobster's son in order to finance the rebellion is one of the reasons that I just fell in love with the show. Like, I just, that shit was just peak. Like, that's just a dope. You would not expect that in Star Wars, or just, I mean, man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's so intricate and just so well done, man. And season 2 uses that wedding on Chandrila to do a couple of very cool things. It's not just there for eye candy, right? They didn't just do it for the girls, right? It's already incredible that Mon sending her daughter to marry this shady dude's family plays such an enormous role in the organization of the rebellion. That's why she's such an pivotal, character. She's literally funding the rebellion with these hoity-toity, all these bagajillionaires out here. So, but now her childhood friend and banking guru Tay has lost some money and gotten divorced, in which in turn is causing him to make uncomfortable waves for Mon and Luthen, who is my homeboy. Luthen is my dog. Luthen is that dude, late Luthen Rael. He's the one with that ship that when he shot the 2 lasers out the side and spun around. Oh man, that season 1, that shit killed. Season 2 doubles down on butterfly effect stuff in all the right ways. You've got, just to say that again because it's wild, a dude's wife leaving him has enormous implications for the future of the rebellion. Forget teaching a kid in the desert how to use a lightsaber. This is the kind of fascinating butterfly effect stuff that the second season of Andor is doubling down on in all the right ways. And that is something as tiny as and personal as a marriage falling apart is a real threat to these early days of the rebellion, which is just a fun thread to pull on, man. And more than Shalandrian divorce, there's always one guy who just got divorced at a wedding, right? And the 4-day extravaganza at the Mothma estate highlights that contrast that painted so well early in the season. And so Mon Mothma has always been, obliged to play nice in the Senate and at home, and while secretly funding the rebellion the whole time. And so placing all of her anxiety around the rebellion including the unexpected arrival of Luthen, who just kind of pops up on her and like, what the fuck are you doing here, dog? Against the backdrop of this traditional, uh, shady yet business event, this marriage, and shows how determined the rest of her world is to carry on, as nothing is amiss and the Empire is incapable of blowing up a whole planet for a mineral. And by the time the wedding's over, her friend Tay's been dealt with in the only way Luthen knows how to deal with loose ends, and he just that dude, right? And so Mon is doing shots that she has very much earned, and dance partying her way through some pretty boss Star Wars EDM, and her tragedy is juxtaposed with a fresh and terrible loss for Cassian, and not only does Mon just kind of have to grin and bear it through this upper class tradition that contrast is used to invade Cassian's life as well. So we see, like, in another sequence, the cross cutting the jungle meatheads and the Empire planning to strip mine Gorman, the spider place. It creates a single story out of the two otherwise unconnected threads, and that's what quality storytelling does. That's what good writing does. It brings the story together, makes it all connect, makes it make sense. And I think the real craft of this season is in these moments. And because they, corral disparate parts of the rebellion into a whole, these little just side stories, and they make it this, it's really masterful. And so Mon Mothma and Cassian Andor haven't not met at all yet, but we feel like they're part of this same story, and their only connection is that they both know Luthen. Luthen is that dude that goes between and connects all he's the mover and the shaker, right? But and they're not quite independently of each other. So here at the end of episode 3, though, they're in the same place thanks to a very clever editing of that house music. Meanwhile, on the antagonist side of the spectrum, the two main villains from season 1 are having this sort of domestic chamber piece, right? Remember Deidre and Cyril squandering off Cyril's mother, who, by the way, I believe in the second or third is maybe my second favorite Star Wars character of all time. Is an incredible scene, and it's written with some of the most passive-aggressive dialogue humankind has ever seen. It is, again, man, this is not for kids, right? This is definitely a real show for real grown-up fans of Star Wars. And the 3 performances have at least a few layers of awkward subtext at play, and beyond any of that, I think we get more of what makes this first chapter great, right? Which is the attempt at normalcy amidst the rebellion, amidst the underground espionage that's going on. And so, taking a relationship to the meet the parent phase, it's a big and very normal step for 2 ambitious, true believer Imperial agents like Deidre and Cyril. And so there's an incongruity to it that is both really funny and super creepy as well. And so seeing Cyril more or less trade one mom for another mom, because he's like that mama's boy, it's a wild place for the series to go. It's just like real writing here. And so, but at the same time, it's exactly the thing that made the first season so intriguing. And so and that this season 2 is highlighting even more effectively. Yeah, man. So, and while I was happy again to see Bix again, right? She's living out on the farms, the wheat fields, and her peaceful bit of respite harvesting grain with Brasso and Willman is interrupted when the Imperial audit comes, and is the most on the nose part of chapter 1, right? The officers are so blatantly slimy, and their tactics so very familiar. The storyline didn't really have nearly as much as the other storylines really going on. It was just kind of like to let us know what's going on with Bix right now, because everyone's gonna be like, hey, where's Bix? So I certainly preferred the farmers on that planet to the meatheads in the jungle, though. But again, pretty low bar. The first chapter, episode 1, 2, and 3 of season 2, best watched all at once. You gotta watch them together. They really flow together. My suspicion is that they were just really one season, and or one episode. Why are you doing recaps Like, you have to watch these back to back. But the episodes are highlighting both the struggles of the rebellion and the nature of the empire by contrasting them with the everyday normalcy, right? The life going on. And so, as well as a very well placed piece of house music that I will mention once more. Even though some of these storylines do kind of linger on a little bit long, and that's looking for something to talk about. That's thanks to some of these most interesting characters that I think Star Wars has ever written. No question. Season 2, 1 through 3, chapter 1, off to a very, very good start for the series. I gotta say, got to say, Stu Dog, he ain't got no power. He goes to show you how disorganized the rebels were and how organized and well financed the empire is, man. 11 or 12, I'll take it. Yeah, man. All women are important in Star Wars. With you know who is in charge. That's what makes this so damn good. Which she does very well, I might add. Mon Mothma is playing her part very well. Yes, sir. Luthen will do you if he has to. Man, I'm telling you, Luthen is that dude. Luthen is a real assassin. He's a real gangster. Definitely. Now, while we're on Star Wars, I would be remiss. I have to mention this. The Ryan Gosling Starfighter joint has just overtook Daisy Ridley's new Jedi Order project to map the Star Wars future post Rise of Skywalker, right? So I don't want to see a Rey movie at all. I have no interest in it. Not because Rey is the worst character ever, but because Charmaine Obaid Chinoy or whatever her name doing. No, sir. No. You don't make Star Wars. Please don't. Why are you doing? What are you doing? You're not a Star Wars fan. You're not. Let me show you who I'm talking about. Let me show you who I'm talking about, and you tell me if you want to see a Star Wars movie made by this person. Far right, blue, with the silly Stay Puft Marshmallow Man hat on the far right, next to Kathleen Karen Kennedy, and yeah. So these are not fans of Star Wars, dude. I don't have any interest in their projects. Their projects are not made for Star Wars fans. They're not made to further the Star Wars story. They're not made because people love. They have their own reasons for making them, and that's cool. You do that. It's not for me. That's cool. But announced 2 years ago at Star Wars Celebration 2023, the new Rey Skywalker movie, titled by fans as Star Wars: The New Jedi Order. Not really the title, although Lucasfilm has purposefully not given it a title as of yet, was quickly set to be specifically 15 years after Rise of Skywalker. And that movie was 35 after the Battle of Yavin in the Star Wars timeline, making this new movie 50 years after the Battle of Yavin. The Battle of Yavin is the whole Luke Skywalker battle, the Death Star, all that stuff. So 50 years after. Daisy Ridley's movie, 15 years out from Rise of Skywalker. So we're post-war, post-First Order. The Jedi are non-existent unless you count Daisy Ridley. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy told Variety shortly after the movie was announced, she said, there's a lot of discussion around who are the Jedi and what are they doing and what is the state of the galaxy. And she's attempting to rebuild the Jedi Order based on the books, based on what she promised Luke. So that's where we're going. Based on what books, Kathleen? Based on what books? What Star Wars books is this based on? You mean the novelization of the sequels trilogies? Like, what are you talking about? Rey books? Since then, however, the only news about Daisy Ridley's Star Wars movie has been about setbacks, right? And with it currently being its third rewrite, third set of writers and director Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy a bit of a hiatus with no new directing work since 2 episodes of Ms. Marvel in 2022. Lucasfilm has assured press that this weekend that the Ridley movie is still in development, but to date, there's been no other announcement on it in years. Star Wars Starfighter just flew past Daisy Ridley's Star Wars movie, and I'm so glad, because honestly, let me ask you something. Do you think a Ryan Gosling Star Wars Starfighter movie with the dude that made fucking what's his name? Is it Tony Gilroy? Well, basically, the Star Wars Starfighter is supposed to be set after Rise of Skywalker, but it's like 5 years after, according to Lucasfilm press release. So 10 years before the Ridley movie. So it's coming out. So assuming that the movie holds its original time frame with all the rewriting going on, both can coexist. But being first into that post-sequel trilogy era seems important, and for it to now be a movie that is shaking off all the nostalgia of returning characters and instead aiming to be as original as the first Star Wars movie will be, a stark contrast to anything else in the space. Now, Star Wars Starfighter with the Ryan Gosling movie, while it's not going to be a Skywalker saga, it's very much gonna, I think, feel way more like Star Wars than anything we saw in the sequel trilogy. Except for Force Awakens, where they purposely did a bunch of stuff on the nose. But so Sean Levy is the guy that's making the Star Wars the Starfighter movie. So I know I'd definitely rather see a Sean Levy, Ryan Gosling Star Wars movie than a goddamn Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy and Ray movie. That's just me. Now, Sean Levy, let me see, is Deadpool and Wolverine that we just loved. He makes that. He made Free Guy, made Real Steel back in the day, like Night at the Museum. He made like Boogeyman, Never Let Go. A lot of pretty cool shits. Like, dude is seasoned. He knows what he's doing. Done a lot of cool shit. So I think Wolverine and Deadpool is like all I need to know. This is the guy that made Wolverine and Deadpool. Is the guy that made a movie that basically feeds the fans what they've always wanted. Then hey, man, that's who I'm fucking with. That's who I'm fucking with. But yeah, I think it looks amazing. Staying in the Star Wars space here, Maul Shadow Lord. Hella dope. I can't wait to see this show, man. It's going to be an animated joint all about Darth Maul's, it's going to be George Lucas's sequels trilogy. Like this is what he wanted, right? This is Darth Maul, his apprentice, the actual apprentice that Lucas was going to use, like everything, the underworld. George Lucas's plans where he was going to go after the prequel trilogy instead of what they did with Rey and all that. He was going to have Darth Maul as like a Emperor Palpatine and his Twi'lek apprentice as the sort of Darth Vader, right? Instead of Snoke and Kylo, it would have been Maul and Twi'lek. And basically the story would have been based more around the underworld, the crime, the gangsters, the bounty hunters, the smugglers, the scoundrels, that whole dark side of Star Wars that George wanted to totally explore. And that would have been the theme. Now we're going to get Sam Witwer as the voice of Maul, who's already done Maul's voice always, and he's going to be doing this show. So um, we sort of learn why Maul stayed loyal to Palpatine and all that stuff. So I can't wait. He said it takes place a year after the Clone Wars have ended, and Maul is in a very challenging place because the people that he had around him, a lot of them scattered or betrayed him during the Clone Wars. So we're dealing with a guy who's trying to figure it out as well. Trying to figure out, well, my God, what is my purpose? Maul, you have to remember, is a classically trained Force user, classically trained Sith. Witwer explained. Now, Witwer said, he comes from the time of magic, knights, passion, enthusiasm, aggression, fire, magic. Now he is seeing an empire that he knew was coming, and the magic and color is being sucked out of the universe. How does he feel about that? Did he see that was going to be the way that it was? Is this different than what he expected? And how does it feel? How does it affect him? What does he want to do about it? Can he do anything about it? He's not very equipped right now. So this is a guy who's trying to figure out what his destiny is. And he also noted that Maul's perspective at this point is shaped by his upbringing. He said something else. He was trained his entire life to hate and kill Jedi. And he killed more Jedi than people were aware of in the Clone Wars. As you know, there were indications that he and Savage Opress went off on a rampage as well, and it was worse than you think, and now they're gone. How does he feel about that Jedi and his sworn enemy? How does he feel about them now that they are gone? You know, all of these things. So we're challenging this perspective. So what is his destiny, and what is who is he with what is who is he without his greatest enemy to fight and destroy? And he learns that perhaps part of his destiny is to inspire a young person, basically train an apprentice. Unfortunately, the only tidbit that Sam Witwer really would share about the mysterious apprentice is that he is a very surprising character. He said, I can't tell you that much more. He said, but she's quite something. Now, we already know about her. She's a Twi'lek. She's red, and she eventually gets all covered in like Darth Maul tattoo, shit, and she looks dope. You can see her in the Star Wars Legacy comics with Darth Cade and all that. Straight out of George Lucas's archives. So this is gonna be some more peak shit. So I mean, Star Wars guys, if you were like so many people felt like Star Wars was just done. I mean, so many people, including myself. It's not done. Andor's here. Maul's coming. Gosling's coming. I have faith. Check out these. It all makes sense. Plus, it moves the saga along. Yes, she is dope. Yeah, she is dope. Now, let's real quick hop out of the Star Wars space because Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, begins to wrap filming, and we've got some behind the scenes images and some Lobo action as well. So stay tuned, and here we go. Now, that is, it says Zor-El. That's a character. There's the Supergirl logo. Take a gander. Let it sink in. Now, this isn't the interesting shit, though. What I want to show you is this. Oh, this real quick is interesting. Some dude came out and he said that the Justice League in DCU is going to be called the Justice Gang. Where's he at? Despite the JL symbol being visible on some of the characters' costumes, Daniel Richtman is reporting that this team will indeed be known as the Justice Gang in the movie. I'm guessing that they might be called that, or they might call themselves that at some point. They're still going to be the Justice League. Let's not be. They're trying to shoot this movie down. They want this movie to suck, and I don't get it. Like, this movie's not going to suck. I'm sorry. It's not. It's going to be fucking dope. I don't give a fuck. They want it to suck so bad. They're making up all this bullshit. But, you know, you can hate it if you want to. I already know for a fact I'm going to enjoy it. For a fact. I have no question, none in my heart whatsoever. I'm going to enjoy the movie. Whether it's going to be the best thing since sliced bread, I don't know, but I'm definitely going to dig it. I already know. Now, what I want to show you about Supergirl is Lobo with the new fight video. So just like before when I showed you the Motu, the He-Man behind the scenes, it's very, you know, high drone, like, but there you go. There's Lobo right there throwing something. Boom. Look at this whole big ass set. You can tell there's a lot of CGI going on. There's Lobith. It's like he's launching something. Yeah, he looks dope. He's got like a flowing trench coat. That's pretty hard. Boom. Hella boom mics. Yeah, this whole set, where are they? So they're outside in some sort of space, you know, some planet, some cool shit. Just imagine where Lobo is, and like, you know, if you know anything about Lobo, just that cool bounty hunter, just, you know, that's gonna be sick. But you keep your eye right here. That's Jason Momoa. Right there. He's got white sleeves and like a trench coat and his signature long hair. Yeah. He's standing on his mark. He's not moving. He's just doing it. He's standing right there. The set thing is massive. Look at these big ass crane shits. That's how big this thing is. Those are cranes all around. There you have it. Pretty cool to see how the sausage is made. But that's about it. That's how the sausage is made. Yeah, that's all we got for Lobo. That's all we got for Lobo. Now, real quick, I want to you know what? Let me just jump right over here. I was going to talk about how DCU lanterns, first of all, just stay tuned. I got some Galactus imagery. DCU lanterns, how they fly. So lanterns, you know, fly. Green Lanterns fly and shit. And Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart will fly in the series, apparently. So, yes, while the series has been described as grounded, a potential red flag, we apparently will see lanterns will use CGI and visual effects to show the Green Lanterns flying. The second slide of the Instagram video, which I'll show you here, shows Lantern stunt coordinator Justin Reiner using a harness and wires to take to the skies. Obviously, it won't look exactly like this in the series. The actors, of course, will be shown in stuntman's place, and you know, won't be any wires and shit like that. So, but the show, it just shows the form that they'll be using, in which includes flying with the ring, you know, out first, and probably safe to say that CGI will show their green power rings and green energy and shit like that with their suit, which will be very cool. Sorry. Wow. Okay. Every one of those videos has been fucking removed. Like, fast as they can go up, they're being taken down. Let me see if I can catch one. Holy shit, though. Would you please? Okay, I'm not going through all that. Not logging into Facebook. It's not easy to log into Facebook for some reason. You know why? Because I don't fuck with Facebook. Hang on, let me just turn that shit off. All right, blog, ba bo bo bo. Green Lantern, flying. No, let's see. Do we fly? Is this it? No. Hang on, I'm gonna find you. Nope. Nope, they're taking it down, man. They're taking it down fast, man. WB took it down. It went on Instagram, was up on Facebook. They took it down. Facebook again, they took it down. Reddit put it up. They took it down. So we don't get to see that, apparently, unless you already saw it. The official description offers, though, it says, our lanterns have the rings and all the power they bring, and other characters and aspects of the lore are going to show up or be name-checked. But it is a series that explores who these guys are when they aren't on the job and when they're out of uniform. It's designed to be accessible for people who don't know the mythology. But hopefully it's really satisfying for people who know it backwards and forwards. We're not part of large storytelling plan. So I don't know what I think about this. Like, did y'all just want to make a cop show and figured, well, lanterns are like cops, so we'll just make the lanterns just cops? It's not going to be, flying around space. I'm not going to be on Oa. None of that. So, and apparently they won't be suiting up really. Yeah. Maybe they suit up once. I don't know. But that's not what the show's about. And listen, I'm not going to shit on it until I see it. The actors, the filmmakers that are involved, all very promising. So, but without further ado, man, before we wrap it and call it a night, let me show you guys one last thing here. Presenting our first look at Galactus. Now, mind you, it's the shittiest image you'll ever see, and this is because this was taken off of a someone found this teeny tiny corner of a Japanese like magazine, like a news ad, like not a news, an ad page with tons of shit for sale all over it, just an ad. And this really little tiny image, when you blow it up, you see Galactus and how he'll look in the movie. It has been leaked. This is Galactus in his color scheme. No detail, really, obviously. But if anyone was worried that he wasn't going to look like he does in the comics, don't worry anymore, because that's how he looks. And it's pretty damn close enough for me. I mean, it's as close as it needs to be, in my opinion. But yep, that's Galactus. That's official. That's official. This is not fan made. This is not concept art. Okay, it's official merchandise. Official. Yes, it's Japanese, but no, it's official. Let me see. All right. Yeah, I was trying to see the ad. Where was that? I saw the ad before. Why is everything blurred in Japan? Oh man. But no, I'm happy. I'm excited about that. That's really cool. So we're definitely getting full on, purple and blue Galactus, which I'm not surprised at all. I pretty much knew that's what it was going to be. I had faith. Yep. Other than that, Joe, that is our show, man. Stu Dog, unfortunately, he never got his power back on. Poor guy. But we did the damn thing, guys. Please go check out the unboxing videos. You got to click the video tab. Right now, you're on the live tab. Go out, click the video tab. Whole new unboxing video, probably like 5 of them up there. Bunch of new figures. Got to check it out. Super duper dope. Real quick. You got Deadshot. Stu Dog. This is one of the illest this is my favorite McFarlane figure, like straight up and down, because it's lightweight. It's just the way a figure should be. Reminds me of, I mean, this is how Marvel Legends, like, this is what when I heard Mattel was taking over DC Multiverse, this is what I was hoping they were going to do. So I don't know why Todd just pulls it out at the last minute after the fact, but there you go. Stu, you still here? Look at this. We were talking about big ass capes, making the figures heavy as shit. Yeah. Well, that's one of those. But this is dope. This is Batman Year 2. Super, super, super cool. And then we got Dakin, son of Wolverine, with his very own Dark Avengers mini comic. The face sculpt is awesome. Look at that. If I zoom in, you can see his teeth. He's got individual teeth showing through. He's got the pupil, the retina. I mean, the detail is insanely good. And again, that's Wolverine's son, Dakin. And that's the comic he first appears in, Dark Reign, Dark Avengers. Also got Ultimate Iron Man from the Ultimate Universe. This is one of my favorite Iron Man figures ever. I've got the original, like, old school Iron Man figure, which is my favorite. The one that looks like 80s OG Iron Man, right? Hang on, let me teach this camera that there's nothing else to look at. You stupid. Sometimes if you zoom out and bring it in slow, then the camera focuses on the subject rather than the background. There we go. So you can see him holding his Ultimate Iron Man #1 mini comic. What I love about it, though, I'm not a fan of Iron Man figures because they always look really cheap to me. Because they never have any, like, good paint details. They never have any good details, period. And so they end up just looking like hollow shells almost, with very little accents and details. This, on the other hand, full of accents, full of details, full of just stuff that makes it look really legit, really solid, and it feels really solid, and it looks solid. It doesn't look hollow. Man, it's just really, really, really well made. Now, and last but not least, the ROM. That's ROM #1 in his hand. Let's zoom in there. There we go. Come on. ROM the Space Knight #1. And of course, he looks identical to how he looks on the cover. ROM the Bomb. He's got his jetpack. Adam Warlock coming soon. Stay tuned for more unboxing videos, guys, and we'll see you again every Wednesday and Saturday live right here. Check us out. Have a good night. Be safe. We'll see you then in a couple of days this weekend, Saturday. Stay tuned for some unboxing videos. Go check those out. Go hit them likes. Leave some comments. Subscribe. Peace.